So Politicon is coming up, and there's a lot to talk about because Politicon does not have their stuff together, and it's really getting bad at this point. So, Kyle Kulinski, like a month or two ago, I forgot exactly when it was. It was a while ago. He explains and he announces that he's going to be debating Ann Coulter. Now, I was a bit disappointed because A, I wanted him to debate Ben Shapiro, but B, the other thing was is that I wanted it to at least be a new media figure. I was kind of more interested in a new media figure being debating with Kyle Kulinski. But it was still going to be somewhat interesting. It's Ann Coulter, and so the debate was going to be somewhat interesting. But it seems to be the case that Ann Coulter has backed out of the debate with Kyle Kulinski from Secular Talk. Now, he just announced this pretty much right now. So let's see what he said about this.
All right, so I just got a bit of shitty news. I also got some good news, though, so hang on until the end here because the good news is probably equally important to the bad news here. But as you can tell by the title of this video, Ann Coulter just backed out of the debate. Why did she back out of the debate? I don't know. Your guess is as good as my guess. Is it possible she came across some Secular Talk videos and said, that guy's going to eat me alive, so I'm good. I don't want to do the debate anymore. That's possible. Is it possible that she still has no clue who the fuck I am, and she just decided I don't want to do a debate, period? Yeah, that's possible. But I was under the impression that she had agreed to do it. That's... I have emails that demonstrate that very clearly. Not emails with her directly, but emails with the people at Politicon. Everything was all set up. They sent me the topics for the debate. They sent me how they were going to promote it and things of that nature. So I was looking forward to it. Obviously, I've been promoting it. So the fact that she backed out is annoying me. What annoys me even more is she's still going to be there. It's not like she's saying, hey, look, I'm not going to debate him because I have these prior engagements that I have to get to, and I can't be at Politicon that weekend. No, it's, I'm going to be there, but I'm not going to debate him. Well, the fucking nerve. I mean, appeared like everything was all set, so I'm disappointed. I'm probably even more disappointed than you guys are. I feel terrible for the people who bought tickets specifically for this purpose, to see this debate. The good news, though, is this. What's replacing Ann could be even better. So here's what I'm seeing now, what I'm hearing now from the folks at Politicon. Myself and David Pakman will be debating Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk. Now, do I know that that's happening 100%? No, I don't, because I was under the impression the Ann Coulter thing was happening 100%. So it appears like everything's a little bit of a scramble behind the scenes here, which it shouldn't be, and it should be a hell of a lot more professional than that. But as of right now, myself and David Pakman are scheduled to debate Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk. If indeed that does happen, that would be legendary. Now, I'm hearing that as a backup, if for whatever reason they flake, isn't it weird how, like, it's always the conservatives who are flaking? Meanwhile, I'm down to debate whoever. And by the way, I did float the names that you guys all wanted me to float. I said, hey, here's a list of the people I will debate since Ann is backing out. On that list, I included Ben Shapiro. On that list, I included Tommy Lauren. On that list, I included Chris Christie. I said, here are all the people who are going to be there who I will debate, and there are a lot of heavy hitters there. I'll tell you who they're saying for the one-on-one debate in a second here, but for a tag team debate, if you will, it's looking like myself and David Pakman against Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk at the moment, but if they flake, then it could be somebody from the Daily Wire who I'm not familiar with, and I'm blanking on the other person for that one. Okay, but as of right now, it is scheduled myself and Pakman with Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk. Will that happen? I was under the impression the Coulter thing would happen, so who knows for sure, but as of right now, that is what is scheduled. If that happens, that'll be a lot of fun. Who will I be debating one-on-one? Well, this is pretty interesting. As of right now, what I'm hearing is it's down to one of three people. Number one, Michael Steele, former head of the RNC. That could be a very interesting debate. He's, in my opinion, a lot more reasonable than Ann Coulter, but I think him and I will still have very strong disagreements. So potentially him, potentially David Frum, Bush's speechwriter, George W. Bush's speechwriter, who came up with the phrase axis of evil, who is an ardent neocon warhawk. Ooh, would that one be interesting? Come to Papa. And then if not him, I hope you're all sitting down for this one. Jesse Lee Peterson. For those of you who don't know who Jesse Lee Peterson is, he's the black guy who despises other black people more than any black person has ever despised other black people. I mean, almost to the point where he might be doing an act. I'm not convinced he really believes the things he says. But he is quite a character, and that would be a fascinating back and forth. So it's one of those three. That's what I'm being told right now for the debate. And as of right now, it's scheduled that I debate, along with David Pakman, Charlie Kirk, and Candace Owens. Here's what I could tell you guys, because I was really annoyed hearing about the Coulter thing. Here's what I could tell you for sure. I told them, hey, listen, here's the deal. This is not cool. I've been promoting this. You made it seem like everything was all set. So we need to ameliorate this in one way or another. So I told them they have to get somebody. I gave them the list of the people that could fill Ann's shoes. I just told you the three from that list that they said, hey, here's the possibilities. But I'm going to be doing an extra panel because I'm annoyed because I've been promoting me versus Ann. She backed out, which is, I mean, it's just so fucked up because there was promotion around this. I had spoken about it. A lot of you guys bought tickets. I know people are traveling from across the fucking country to get there. But I said, hey, listen, I feel bad about this for my audience. So I'm going to do, even though I did nothing wrong, by the way, I'm a victim in this just like you guys are if you bought tickets and you wanted to see that. But I'm going to be doing an extra panel. So I was originally scheduled for 2 or 3. Now I think it's 3 or 4. And I'll be there Saturday and Sunday. So if you have tickets for Saturday or Sunday, don't worry. One of those days you're going to see me doing something really interesting and fun. So, sorry guys, I'm just as annoyed as you are at this. Ann Coulter, Scared Ann. That's what we're calling her from now on. Hashtag Scared Ann. She probably realized that, yeah, I'm a monster. So perhaps she backed out for that reason. But it's a damn shame. That would have been an awesome debate. But we'll still have some good stuff instead of her.
All right, so there is quite obviously a lot to talk about there. There's a lot because Kyle talked about a lot of different stuff. So first of all, Ann Coulter backing out. Now, the first obvious question that comes to mind is, why did Ann Coulter back out? It's a pretty good question, honestly. I mean, I don't know what the reason would be. Originally, when I first heard that she backed out, my first thought was maybe she backed out because she didn't know who he was or something to that nature, something like that. But it doesn't really make sense because it's like, why would you accept a debate with someone who you don't know? And there would also be a question as to, do you really not know that person? Because it's like, first of all, she had a debate with Cenk twice, like an interview / debate twice in consecutive years. And so he's part of the network that Cenk is the owner of. And he's got like a 600K channel at this point, almost 600K. So I just find it hard to believe. And he's got like over 100,000 followers on his Twitter account. Like, it's hard for me to really honestly believe that he that she doesn't know him. And also, for some reason, I get the feeling that Ann Coulter isn't the type of person who is someone to be like, oh, like I'm too big for you. Despite obviously Kyle not being in that situation in the first place, she doesn't, like, as much of a horrible person she is. It definitely doesn't seem like she's that type of person. So I don't know what the reason is. Honestly, and she's still going to Politicon. I wonder if we'll ever get an answer on that. I mean, obviously, we're gonna have to get the answer from her. Are we gonna get that? I don't know. Who knows? But I'm sure, as you guys do, I would love to know the answer to that. But I want to say that it's not, it's bad on the part of Ann Coulter for obvious reasons because she's the one who backed out. But part of this blame, a big chunk of this, arguably more of this blame, goes on Politicon. Now, I've been very critical of Politicon this year because you can't have a professional convention in which you don't even know who's debating who, with less than 2 weeks to go. There's less than 2 weeks to go, and you don't even know all the people who are debating who. You don't even have them confirmed and scheduled. That is extremely unprofessional, and it's unacceptable from a convention that's already been in the game for multiple years. They've been in the game now for like 4 years, 4 or 5 years. Like, you need to get your stuff together. You cannot do that. That is, not only is that just unprofessional, but it's wrong in terms of the people who are paying money to do that. Like, what if somebody paid money for their tickets to see Ann Coulter and Kyle Kulinski debate, but now that they're not debating, they're like, well, I don't want to watch anything else. Like, you can't advertise something that's going to happen and then, because of your super, bad, just really, subpar scheduling, you don't actually end up having that. That's unacceptable. That's not acceptable. That's ridiculous. It's unbelievable, right? I mean, it's really unacceptable. So part of the blame goes to Ann Coulter because, why are you backing out? Like, you should have, if you don't want to take the debate, don't take the debate, right? It's okay if you want to deny in the beginning. Even then, it's like, okay, why'd you do it? But it's nowhere near as bad as, like, this is pretty much the last second, okay? There's less than 2 weeks left. This is, when it comes to a serious, real convention, a real organized event, you cannot, I repeat, cannot just have this sort of wishy-washy thing as to whether or not you're going to do something. But I would say the majority of the blame goes to Politicon for being an organization that is not organized and does not have their stuff together. So they need to get their stuff together, especially for the years forthcoming, if they want people to keep returning. Like, Kyle Kulinski may not return if this is the same thing that goes on. I could definitely see him being that kind of a person. Now the next point is, I already made a video speaking about how David Pakman and Kyle Kulinski are going to be doing like a double, a 2v2 with them versus Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens. That would be amazing. That would be an awesome debate. It would be really, really, really entertaining to watch. I think that it would obviously be a smackdown for obvious reasons. Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk are complete imbeciles and complete morons. But the issue is, we don't even know if that's true. We don't even know if that's confirmed because of the nature of Politicon, and we know how these right-wingers are backing out of debates, literally left and right. So we don't even know if that's actually going to happen. Now, should it happen? Yes, because I'm going to watch that. Like, if that happens, that's going to be unbelievably, insanely entertaining. And I'm sure you guys are going to watch that too. I mean, that's going to be really, really interesting. And it would be really cool to watch that because Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens are complete morons. They're totally these right-wing funded douchebags. To the next point, now he explains about the 1v1 debate and what the possible future scheduling is. He says that he floated all the names that we wanted, the main one being Ben Shapiro. I guess that didn't pan out. Who the heck is Ben Shapiro even debating? We don't even know anymore. Well, we never knew, is what I meant to say. We don't know. I'm still waiting on that because I was hoping that David Pakman, Sam Cedar, or Kyle Kulinski was going to debate, and that was supposed to be the hope. That was the hope. Now, he says out of the names that he floated, the options are David Frum, Michael Steele, and Jesse Lee Peterson. I don't know about you guys, but for me personally, I don't want to see him debate someone who is part of the legacy media game. Like David Frum, I'm not really interested in him debating David Frum. David Frum is an anti-Trumper who was, fervently pro-Iraq. And so it's just, that's not really something that I'm personally interested in. it doesn't have the sort of energy that I'm interested in. Same thing goes for Michael Steele. Like, who cares about Michael Steele, man? He's like a former RNC chair. It's like, all right, but like outside of being the RNC chair, like like, I don't know. I mean, you guys can tell me. Maybe he's some, really well-known guy who has some. I don't know anything about Michael Steele outside of being RNC chair. And then the last person, Jesse Lee Peterson. Out of all those three, I want to see him debate Jesse Lee Peterson. Do you want to know why? It's because that will be the most entertaining by far. By far, the most entertaining will be Jesse Lee Peterson. It will be so hilarious. I don't think that a David Frum or Michael Steele, Kyle Kulinski debate will be all that interesting. It's just not even the same plane, because it's like, all right, like David Frum, I mean, these are some really, really old school stuff that we're talking about. This neocon stuff, right? Which has already been obliterated to shreds. And despite these newer figures basically repeating the stuff that Rush Limbaugh has been saying forever, they have a mask of like being this new ideas. Obviously, they're not. But I would be interested in seeing that happen. And Ann Coulter would have been better than David Frum or Michael Steele, because Ann Coulter is not a neocon. She's somebody who's a horrific human being, but she goes after the neocons because they don't pass her litmus test of the wall, and just being a bad person. So, anyways, those are my thoughts. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this down below. Who do you want to see him debate out of those three options? And why do you guys think Ann Coulter backed out of the debate?